Welcome everyone to tonight's Storytime Explainer. We're stepping away from our usual deep dives for a bit and journeying right into a magical forest. We're going to explore a really beautiful bedtime fable and discover exactly how a very tricky fox learned a highly important lesson. So snuggle in, get comfortable, and let's begin.
Have you ever wondered exactly how the wicked fox lost his tail? Well, our story starts deep in a lush green forest with a very hungry wicked fox. He'd been wandering aimlessly, just searching everywhere for a meal. His tummy was rumbling and grumbling so loudly he thought he might literally faint from hunger. He searched high and low until suddenly his eyes locked onto something. Right there, tucked in a cozy little nest, were a mother hen's precious fluffy little chicks.
Now this fox was incredibly greedy. In a sly, scratchy little whisper he goes, finally, a feast for today and I'll save the rest for tomorrow." Instead of just leaving them alone, that selfish fox snuck right up and gobbled down a few of those poor little chicks. And knowing he'd be hungry again, he wickedly planned to return the very next day, completely ignoring the terrible heartbreak he was leaving behind.
Section 2. The Mother Hen's Sorrow. A Promise to Protect.
Not long after the fox scampered away, the gentle mother hen comes back to her nest. And when she realizes some of her babies are missing, she is just absolutely devastated. She wept and cried out, "Where did my little ones go? Who took them?" And through all that deep, heartbreaking sadness, she made a fierce promise to the babies she had left. She hugged them close and vowed, "I will never leave you alone again."
Notice the huge difference between these two animals. On one side, we have our mother hen. She's protective, loving, and deeply trusting. But on the flip side, the wicked fox is selfish, deceitful, and incredibly greedy. And this contrast is absolutely crucial, because the very next day, that greedy fox actually returns to the nest expecting another easy meal, only to find the mother hen sitting right there, fiercely guarding her babies.
Seeing her on guard, the sneaky fox has to pivot, right? He puts on his sweetest, most innocent voice and says, "What's wrong, sister? Why are you sitting here all morning? Haven't you eaten?" When the hen explains she was just too afraid to leave her babies, the fox deceitfully offers, "You go find food, sister. I will guard your chicks." He literally pretended to be a helpful friend, tricking the innocent mother hen into thinking her babies would be totally safe in his care. So the big question is, will the mother hen be fooled again? Well, the mother hen, believing the fox actually had good intentions, left to quickly gather some food. But of course, the wicked fox didn't wait a single second. He immediately struck again, taking more of her chicks, and then just scurried away into the forest before she could even get back.
When the mother hen returned from foraging, her heart just shattered all over again. The fox was gone, and so were more of her precious babies. She realized immediately that she'd been tricked and made a really painful vow: never trust blindly. She knew the wicked fox was the liar who had taken her children. But instead of just crying this time, a real spark of bravery ignited inside her. She decided right then and there to set up a clever plan for revenge.
Which brings us to the turning point of our explainer, Section 3. The fox falls in. A trap is set.
Okay, so the very next day, the wicked fox confidently struts back, fully expecting to trick the hen one more time. But the mother hen was ready for him. She pretended to leave for food again, but secretly she hid nearby and watched. As the greedy fox eagerly creeps toward the nest, he isn't looking where he's going, and whoosh! He tumbles right into a deep, hidden pit. Suddenly, his smug, confident voice turns into this panicked whine. "Help! I'm trapped in a hole! Save me!"
The mother hen calmly walks right up to the edge of the pit and looks down at the trapped fox. He's begging for mercy, promising he would never do it again. But she wisely asks, "Can you bring my babies back?" Of course he couldn't. So she bravely refuses to help the liar. She gathers her remaining chicks and walks away, leaving the wicked fox stuck exactly where he belonged. But you know, the fox's story doesn't actually end there in the dirt. Let's look at the next chapter. The Foolish Lion and Lies. Another trick. So the fox is down there shouting and crying for help for hours. Eventually, this really powerful but, kind of gullible lion happens to stroll by and hears the noise. The lion peers into the hole and asks what the fox could possibly offer him in return for a rescue. And here, the fox uses his sly nature yet again. He promises, "Pull me out and I'll tell you where to find a warm winter cave." He knew for a fact the lion was desperately looking for a cozy place to sleep through the cold season.
The lion, thinking only of that warm cave, uses his mighty strength to pull the fox right out of the hole. Once freed, the fox playfully rattles off these completely fake directions to the eager lion. He says, Step 1, walk straight for 20 minutes. Step 2, find the giant banyan tree. And Step 3, discover the warm winter cave. The lion thanks the fox and immediately bounds off into the forest, completely unaware that he had just been totally played.
Which leads us perfectly into our next section, the lion's anger. The truth comes out.
The poor lion wanders the forest. He walks way past where the banyan tree should be. He searches high and low for hours, just growing more and more tired and cold. Finally, it hits him. The cave does not exist. Using his booming, angry voice, the lion roars, "That wicked fox tricked me! I will teach him a lesson." The lion vows right then to track down the tricky fox and make him pay for his terrible lies.
Let's actually track this lion's very long afternoon. At 1 p.m., the fox tricks him, sending him on this total wild goose chase. By 4 p.m., the poor guy is exhausted, searching the forest entirely in vain. But then, right around 6 p.m., as the sun is starting to set, the furious lion spots the wicked fox, who is just standing there actually laughing to himself about how clever he is. And then bam, it happens. The lion pounces. Before the fox can even react, chomp! The furious lion bites down right onto the fox's tail. The fox yells out in pain and terror. He pulls and pulls to get away, and with a loud rip, his tail comes right off. The now tailless fox runs screaming into the deep, dark woods, having finally received the ultimate punishment for all his deceit.
Now, let's take a nice deep breath and slow things down as we move to our final chapter, Living Happily Ever After. Peace in the forest.
So, with that newly tailless fox running far, far away, he was just way too embarrassed and scared to ever bother anyone in the forest again. And as for our brave, loving mother hen, well, she moves to a beautiful new home. There, she lives happily and peacefully with her remaining little chicks, safe at last to raise her family without any fear at all.
The biggest takeaway from tonight's explainer is really the moral of the story here. Lies and deceit will always catch up to you in the end. Being tricky and selfish, just like that wicked fox, might seem easy at first, but it only leads to losing your friends, losing trust, and hey, in the fox's case, even losing his tail. It is always, always better to be honest and kind.
And that brings our fable to a close. So ask yourselves, what good choices will you make tomorrow, little ones? Think about how you can be honest, brave, and caring, just like the mother hen. Close your eyes, rest well, and dream of magical forests. Thank you for joining me for tonight's explainer. Good night, everyone.